Hi, I'm Dave. This is the Cyderbaby pod, and today I'm speaking to Nils from Dynazty. Hello.
Hi there.
I hope I got the pronunciation right on that.
You did. You
Ah,
did. It was fantastic.
thank you, thank you. I try my best. um, Final Advent. You've got an album coming out.
Indeed, yes. It's been a long time coming by now. Started writing this album 2 years ago. It was supposed to be released already in April, but things got in the way, and here we are in August, and just a couple of weeks away. And
Yeah,
finally, the album will be out very soon.
excellent. I mean, I've been playing the singles on the radio, and I absolutely love them. I was not really aware of you guys prior to this, but you've got quite a history, haven't you? I mean, you were formed what, 15 years ago?
Well, more or less. Yeah, it's been a long run. I mean, I was 19 when we recorded our very first album, just released on a very small scale back in 2009, if I remember it correctly. And here we are years later and still doing stuff. So yeah.
So how have things changed over the years then for you musically and the band?
Well, I think it's changed naturally, I would say. Like I said, we were basically teenagers
Mm,
or late teenagers when we started, and now we're in our early 30s. And I guess it would be strange if you wouldn't develop yourself as a musician and as a songwriter during that time. And I think that the band at this point has found a very solid identity, sound wise, and stuff that we didn't have when we started out, like most
right.
bands don't have. And it took us a couple of years to really find that kind of identity. And I think we have it pretty much nailed down now. And we just try to develop a little bit step by step with every album that we make.
Yeah. So when was your previous album out? You say you started writing this one about 2 years ago. So how long
Right.
before?
Yeah, our previous came out in April 2020. So a little over 2 years ago.
Hmm.
And then, of course, the whole we released that in the midst of all the COVID and the first lockdowns and the whole pandemic thing. So we never got around to tour for that album. The whole summer was shut down all over Europe. So we just decided to start writing a new album. Um,
Yeah.
um, Pretty quickly on after releasing that album, but still, that's the one thing that you knew that you could do at that particular time, was to write new music at least.
Mm, mm. I mean, just listening to the music. I mean, do you guys actually draw breath when you're actually playing? Because it's full on. It's very well. It takes my breath away just listening to it. I've got to say. I really enjoy it. So.
Short answer is no. We do not draw breath. We hold it in for about 4 minutes, and then finally,
Exhale.
no. But I mean, yeah, we, especially with this album, I think that was actually one of the things that we talked about a little bit when we decided on a game plan for the album, was to actually kick up the tempo a few notches and to make it a very, very intense album. Um, so yeah, I hear you.
You start off really well, then you go straight into like almost the only ballad of the album, yours, and as the second track. I mean, that's quite a brave move. Just take the tempo right down.
Mhm.
Was that a conscious decision? Or?
I mean, we definitely felt that the album would need a more mellow song. I don't think we ever planned to write like a ballad or
Mm,
power ballad or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a very big fan of that term, but something that dynamically would take things down.
mm,
And we wrote that song, or that came about in a natural way. And then I think when it came time to release the singles for the album during a prolonged time because of, you know, pandemic and all that thing, we
mm.
thought that amongst all the singles there should at least be the ballad should be there, or yours should be on it.
Yeah.
So I think also that not a lot of bands are even don't even really dare to write these kind of songs anymore. There's just a handful of us that try it, and even less so releasing it as a single. So
Yeah.
I thought that would be a cool thing to do.
Yeah. Uh, it's one of my favorite tracks. I was going through the track listing and listening to the album earlier. I put like a little star beside which ones I think, are my favorite. And I think I've got about 5 of the 10 tracks of the album that I can't really make a decision of which one's my favorite. The choice is there. All the Devil's Here, I think probably is my favorite. But
Right.
what's that song about? Just briefly explain that one.
Well, actually, that song is a bit of a continuation of a song that we had on our previous album, The Dark Delight, a song called The Heartless Madness.
Right.
And to me, when the original idea for All the Devils Are Here, um, when we started writing it, I just felt that it had a pretty strong connection to that song, or the same kind of vibe. So I decided on writing, the lyrics about something very similar, or like a continuation of that kind of song. And I guess it's the lyrics are about infatuation, about two people very, very addicted to each other and trying to find a balance between um, not turning it into something toxic, but turning it into something beneficial for both.
Hmm.
And that was sort of what I started on with the Heartless Madness song on the previous album, and just continued writing about it on this one.
Okay. Uh, again, I don't know. Achilles heel is one of my favorites. I mean, is just tell me a little.
Right. Yeah, that was, I think it was two ideas that we put together to one, two different song ideas that we
Right.
had, and like pieced them together. And like the big main theme was put together with the chorus, for example. And this was the track where we felt that we wanted something for the album that was a bit more adventurous.
Yeah.
And that song takes quite a few twists and turns. There's a middle section that is quite out there, and we just felt that this was a song where we would flex ourselves a little bit songwriting wise, and not necessarily be a single release kind of song, but more of an album track.
Mm. I mean, I got that kind of feeling with the White as well. That was quite progressive, I think. So
Right, yeah.
yeah, whether I'm right or wrong, I mean, you tell me.
Well, I don't have the answers. It's everything. It's an art form. Everything's open for it's subjective stuff. No, but
Yeah.
the why we wanted to bring in a lot of. There's a lot of crazy instrumental stuff and singing stuff as well in that song,
Yeah.
and we felt like we had an opportunity to let loose in many ways on the White.
Yeah. Okay. So if somebody who hadn't heard of you guys before and they asked you what song you would pick to say this is us, this is Dynasty at the moment, what song would you pick?
Um, that's a very good question. I would actually I might go for a song from the previous album, The Dark Delight, a song called Presence of Mind, which was the first single that we released. I think that very much encapsulates this whole band in one song. And for this album, I would go for Power of Will.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I suppose now the album is due out, touring is on the agenda, maybe?
Yeah. This album was originally supposed to be out in April, so
Yeah.
we had a tour planned for April, and we went out and did that tour. But it's a good thing because we never got to tour for our previous album, so it was a good opportunity to properly present that album on a tour as well. But right now we are planning the rest of the year and early next year, and the touring schedules for that. So there will be lots to come.
Good. I'm hoping there's going to be at least a couple UK dates in that.
That's the plan.
Ideal. No, ideal because I'd love to see you guys play because some of it, like I said, this music is just blowing me away. I really love it, and this is why I asked particularly for the interview because I just want everybody who might listen to me at some point, just listen to me and say, yeah, just sit up and just take a listen to this album, even if it's only the one time, because I just feel it's one of those things that's gonna grow and grow and take you to a huge more
Well,
huge larger audience, shall we say.
thank you very much. I'm glad to hear it, and we're always happy for all the support that we can get. And this Dynasty is the kind of band that is growing naturally, and has been for the past couple of years, and organic kind of growth that comes from word of mouth, the old school way. Very happy for it.
Excellent, excellent. I won't hold you up any longer. I appreciate you taking the time to speak uh, today, and thank you for your time. And I wish you all the best with the album release.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.